My parents are Chinese Vietnamese. They actually were living in Vietnam during the war. My dad fought for the South Vietnamese army. When the war ended, my parents fled with all the other millions of Vietnamese that came over and jumped onto the boats. We were lucky that we were picked up by an American ship eventually. And my brothers were little. I had a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old older brother. I'm the youngest of 3. And there's just a lot of loss. I mean, like, I had an older sister who she died never making it over, so that was like pretty typical. Like, that's everybody lost somebody in the family. So they're afloat in sea, they come over, they get picked up by an American ship, they hop around the islands, Guam, Hawaii. They eventually get into a converted army base in rural Pennsylvania that's turns into a refugee home. And that's where they get settled initially, sponsored by the church. This is where I come in. I'm the first of my family to be born on US soil, growing up kind of poor, growing up without college education, having nobody with the path forward, seeing nobody in medicine that way. I was delivered at the local community hospital, but it was run by a family medicine residency. So the family medicine residency delivered me, took care of me as was my pediatrics growing up. And they're like, "Oh, you're a smart kid, you should be a doctor." And I was like, I don't know, I just wanted to, do something good with my life. My parents didn't have education, they came over, they worked in factories until the day they retired. Basically, they just said, go get education so you don't have to work on the line with me. So basically I went into medicine to commit myself to take care of people that haven't historically had that access. And I really went into medical education because I didn't really have pathway programs and stuff that supported me. I felt like I was lucky and stumbled into medicine, so I spent my career working towards opening doors for people who have historically not been represented in medicine. And now I'm sitting here at Mobile Heal, which is one of my projects, right? I'm the Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Medical Education. I do all these things because I'm trying to do things to not just improve health and deliver care, super important, but specifically targeted towards populations that haven't historically received care, and also opening doors in education. So those who haven't had parents that went to college, you worked on the line, your parents worked in the field, your parents don't speak English. These are all things I come from, that you make sure that those opportunities are there, because I was lucky to get through, but it shouldn't be lucky. We should have ways and pathways that are structured to help people succeed in that and support that. We really need people who are from their cultures, who are from that background, to really go back and say, hey, I'm gonna commit to improving the health for these people, so they can search out for care, they can speak in their own language, they can understand the cultures, their religion, that all plays into their care. It's really important to understand that I'm Asian American, and my culture and religion and food and language contribute to that society of America. AAPI, like all of our little heritage and bringing out different cultures and races and ethnicities and languages and celebrate them, are really important, because we want to treasure and keep that and talk about assimilation of Americanism, but we have to understand that because of our subcultures, they need to thrive. That's how you can keep that thread alive, so people have an anchor. It's actually part of our human nature. Understanding where we come from helps us have a stronger foundation for who we are and having identity as a person.